Okay, so in this one, we're gonna import a scene downloaded from Sketchfab. So go File, Import, and GLB. And then go to the mini village that you've downloaded. And once you've imported, you'll notice that there are lots of these lines that point to the center. These are called relationship lines, and I'm not really sure why they're here, but whenever you download stuff from Sketchfab, most of the time it comes with it. So I'm gonna go and expand these ones just to show you what I'm doing. So these are all the meshes, and I'm just gonna delete the relationship. So Sketchfab model, delete that root and GLTF and all that until you get to all you have left are the meshes. Then all the lines are gone. Just makes it a bit cleaner and easier to work with. And then I'm going to go to Material Preview. And this is the scene that we're going to be working with. Let's say I want to make this water wheel move on the river. So I'll select the house and I'll go Shift. Actually, before I do that, let me turn on my screencast keys. I'll select the house, Shift H, so I'll hide everything except the house. And then top view, period to frame it. Tap to go into auto edit mode. I'm going to select the wheel, and of course I should turn on X-ray mode. So I select all of it. And you notice that there is the back of the wheel that I never got, that I still have to select, this one back here. You could go and hunt for it through all these vertices, or I'll teach you another shortcut, which is Control and plus. This will select more. It will help you select more. I'll demonstrate using this vertices here. If I keep selecting, let's say I highlighted this one, and I keep going Control plus, it will keep selecting all the way around the wheel. And notice how it stops. That means there are some overlapping vertices. We can solve that. We've learned about that before. 1 to select vertices, and I'll press Alt, and I'll merge. M for merge, and I'll do by distance. And you can see at the bottom over here, it's removed about 3,300 vertices. So just the way this model was made by the creator, maybe it's from another software that it generated multiple vertices that we don't need. So like this, let me show you that. Control plus again. I'll select one of the vertices. Control plus, if I keep selecting, it'll just select more and more. And this rim, this wheel right here, it's actually not part of the same mesh. So that's not a problem. I'll select that vertices and I'll Control plus again. So now it should have gotten, there you go, the whole wheel. But what I did before, much easier, is just select whatever you can easily, Control plus, and you can see that it captured the shaft of the wheel. Okay, with that selected, we're going to use the shortcut we learned last time, which is P to separate, and I've separated the selection. So I'll press Tab back into the object mode, and now I just got the wheel, and I could animate this along the y-axis, and you notice the origin is off. So I'll go to front view, and you can see that the orange dot is over here. So when I try and rotate, it goes about that axis, which is not right. So since this is a symmetrical object from the front view, we can just go to Object, Set Origin, Origin to Geometry. And you see the origin reset to the center of the shaft. So now when I rotate, it's pretty much where we want it to be. So with that selected, maybe we can press F2 and rename it to water wheel. Then we can Alt H and reveal everything again. And you can animate this wheel the same way we did before with everything else. So I'll start with rotation, and there's a problem here that I want to show you. So at the 60th frame, I'm going to rotate along the y-axis, and I'll just go 360, let's see, and then insert the rotation frame, and you see that nothing's happened. Even if I go Let's say I rotate on the Y 500 degrees. Still nothing will happen. And that's because if you select this wheel and press N, N will pop up this properties menu, or you can press this little arrow here, which I don't really do. I usually just press N. N, go into item. So in the item tab, you'll see that the rotation is set to this. And what we want is XYZ Euler. That way, when we try and animate this, let me just go into the keyframe, press A to select all, X to delete all the keyframes, and this time I'll do it again. From frame 1, set the rotation, frame 60, and I'll just rotate along the Y 360 degrees, and then set the rotation again. Now it works. So remember, sometimes when the models come off Sketchfab, it will be set to this quaternion. We want XYZ Euler. Alright, with that done, maybe you want to, I'm going to press N to hide the menu again. Maybe you want to animate this water. I think the simplest way to match the scene is just to maybe duplicate this water and then maybe move it on the x-axis somewhere over there, and then I will just set the location, and then on maybe the 120th frame I'll move it down here like that. That way when you play it, there is some water movement. Maybe you can make it go back and forth and scale in and out to make the water more realistic. Next, we will move this camper van. So this camper van is actually separated from the wheels. So now I'm going to teach you another shortcut. So that was period right there. Numpad period to center the object I'm working on. The shortcut I want to show you is, we learned about separate, which is P. The opposite of that is join, obviously, and it's Control J. Once you press Control J, this becomes one object. But you can see that the wheel had flipped inside out. Okay, so I found out why. Sometimes, let me move this out to show you something. There's something called normals in 3D modeling world. If you drop down this menu here, show overlays, over here there's a thing called normals. This is just for your information. These are the direction that these faces are facing, telling the rendering engine how to render these. So it saves rendering process by rendering only one side. So it doesn't render the inside because nobody sees the inside. But when you join the wheel with the camper van, it flips the normals. And that's not what we want. So I'm going to turn off the normals. I'm going to go back out. I'm going to delete this extra wheel. Alt H to show everything again. And let me go back to my camper van. Now if I try to join these again, so the two wheels, the van, and the other two wheels, Control J. I've joined them, and you see how these normals have flipped. So now I'm kind of looking inside out. First off, because there are a lot of duplicated vertices, I'll go in edit mode. I'll press 1 to select vertices, A to select all of it, and then merge by distance. Oh, I've already done it. Well, when you do it, it will remove around a few thousand vertices again. When that's done, you press Alt N, and you recalculate the normals pointing outside. Once you do that, the wheels are facing the correct way, or it's rendering correctly. So go back into object mode. Now this van is free to be animated. So you can go back to whatever frame you're on and just move it around and animate as you wish. There is a bit of a shortcut when you do animation, and that is this record button or auto keying. Be careful when you use this though, because every time you move this, it will record its location, rotation, and scale. So I'll demonstrate by, let's say I'll move it like that. Every time I move it with G or R or S, it will record a keyframe. If you're over the same frame, it will simply record or overwrite what you've already had. So this is helpful if you're familiar with animation. See, I can drag it to 60. I'll go top view. I'll just move this down automatically. It'll capture the next frame, and maybe I want to go here and the van has driven into the water. Something like that. So when you're done, do remember to turn it off, or it will start recording all sorts of keyframes. So something like that, of course, you would fix up the physics and drive around the trees, or maybe make the trees have collision and the trees fly off. So that's up to you to play around with, and that is the low poly village.